Bonjour, YouTube. Welcome back to Long Story Short, the intermission. Now, many of you have reached out to me offering your sympathy, offering empathy, telling me how sorry you are that these things happened. And so I think a lot of people are misunderstanding, and I might be telling the story wrong. It's a very difficult story to tell just for the chronological issues and the trying to put everything in a coherent way. It's very difficult for me. I'm not a videographer. I'm not an editor. I don't have any expertise in this field. All I have is a Z Fold 5 phone and my story and some pictures and videos and terabytes of cloud. So if you've been following along with the first 3 chapters of my story, you've heard some pretty heavy stuff. I wish I could find more humor in it because I laugh a lot. I have a sense of humor, believe it or not. I don't know if it's always, a mainstream type of humor or if it's quirky, but I do laugh. I enjoy my days. I love being a father. And the joy I have of raising a family in my new life is just, I cannot even express to you what a happy time I'm currently living in. You've heard about my military service, the trauma, the false accusations, and the things that were done to me, the things that happened to me, and some of it through my own poor decisions, of course. I know how that sounds. I know it's easy to look at a man talking about his past and think he's just airing out grievances. There might be a little bit of that in here, I admit. Or that he's stuck in a loop of reliving his own pain. Putting these videos out is sort of a therapy, but it's also been a very big stressor in the past week of putting these videos together. It's not easy. I need to clear something up before we move into chapter 4. This isn't a lament, it's not a protest, and it's not an invitation for sympathy. Although I do appreciate when people say nice things and encouraging things. To a lot of my faithful viewers, I want to give you a special shout out and to thank each and every one of you. I can't name you all by name, but you know who you are. I'm not trying to rewrite history or fix what's already been carved in stone. My life is only important to me. I'm the star of my own show. This is my video. I can only give you my perspective. So I'm putting this on record for one reason: for my children. Currently, that would be Sean Bruno Berry and possibly Bella Mayberry when she's older. I don't know. Hopefully, her and I always have a relationship until the day that I die. Sean, that's another story. That one is a mystery. So we all have a version of how the sausage is made, right? I like this sausage analogy. I kind of wanted to give it to you guys. You know how people have always, will say that they can't eat the sausage once they've seen how the sausage is made. It's very disgusting. You know how things look whenever you get a peek behind the curtain, then the magic show. It changes your perception of the end result. Excuse me. The ugly, messy, painful ingredients that define who we become. I mean, any person that's ever come to a happy life of contentment or illumination, or they just come to this peaceful time in their life, it wasn't always like that. It was a shit show. We've all been there, all of us, every single one of us. You, the person that I'm talking to right now, you know what I'm saying. It wasn't easy to get where we're at. And each and every one of you I know has gone through your own trials and tribulations. Mine are not special. They might be worse than the average case, of course, and I've said that in many videos. I recognize, because sometimes when I compare myself to others, I don't look at other people that have say, more money than me, or a nicer car, a nicer home. I don't have any jealousy towards that whatsoever, or any kind of envy. I can just, and when friends and people give me good news, I'm genuinely happy for them. There's never any animosity towards them at all. So when I'm comparing myself to others, I usually do it in the terms of maybe what they've been through. And it's not to belittle anyone else's pain or trials and tribulations, hardships, or tragedies that have happened to them. But that's how the sausage is made. That's who's made you who you are today. And I'm very happy. Make no mistake. I'm very happy with the person I am today. I know who I am. I'm very secure in who I am. I'm very secure in my character. And if you've come a long way through something, your character has probably improved too. You weren't always perfect. It's a process. So again, it's an ugly, messy, painful thing, these ingredients that define who we become. I'm showing you mine, not so you can judge the ingredients, but so you can see the result. Too much time has passed by where the narrative about me was written by either government agencies, my ex-wife, other people in my life, mostly just government agencies. I mean, the official record, on paper, I look pretty bad. So for a long time now, this narrative has followed me, and it describes a character, this caricature that doesn't exist. So this is, in one way, for me to fight back. You have to understand the pressure, the heat, and the grinder it took to get me here, where I am. If I don't tell these parts, you won't understand why the life I have now is so precious to me. The peace I found here in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, the family I'm raising. Sometimes I feel like when I put Michelle and Bella on camera, I feel like I'm bragging, but it's more of it's a celebratory win for me, because the story could have went in a totally different direction. So as we look forward, don't look at these stories as a place where I'm stuck. Look at them as a foundation. I'm sharing the process, the good and the bad, so that my kids know exactly how we got here. If you're here for the journey, I'm glad to have you, but please understand I'm not looking back to change the past. I can't change what's already happened. And like I said in another video, even if you gave me a time machine and said, would you go back in time and change anything if it meant that you couldn't have what you have now? I wouldn't change a thing. And that sounds like a very, I don't know, it's not really a profound thing. Let me just say, I have experienced broken bones. I have experienced post-traumatic stress disorder for years. I have experienced illnesses, tuberculosis, typhoid, malaria, again, broken bones. I mean, scary times sitting in a prison cell where I know that I didn't belong. And I endured all of that. And I'm not saying that any of those things are good to have in your life. I can certainly have lived without it. But it wouldn't have got me to where I'm at here today. Just today. Bella was a handful today. And then when she was getting tired and fussy, laying her down for a nap, I mean, she was really crying and fussy and being a little brat. You know, she's at her terrible 2 stage. And she went to sleep in my lap. And I just had to force myself to remember how difficult she was today. I know that's maybe not a good analogy, but at that moment that I looked at her and she had this peaceful look on her face, and I just knew that she was my daughter and I'm here to protect her. I felt good for her because she's She has me, and I know that I'm a good dad. So she's a very lucky child, and she has a good mom. And I have a wonderful partner, in Michelle. I don't like calling women my partner, but she's not my wife. She's my girlfriend. Of course, you'd like to be my wife, and I'd like to give that to her one day. But right now, it's not really feasible in my current situation. A lot of people on my channel have said, "Why don't you marry her? You're not doing right." Listen, there are circumstances outside of my control because of the past and because of my recent experiences with marriage and the court system and the legal danger it puts me in. Right? You just have to trust me. It's not possible right now. But my commitment to my family cannot be strengthened with marriage. It cannot be strengthened with a formal commitment. I am committed 1,000% to my family. So, anyway, I'm glad to have you here. I hope you enjoy the videos if you can. I know they're tragic, and they seem a little drama-filled, I guess. But anyway, there's the good comes to the bad comes to the good. But I just want my kids to know exactly where I was. I would have loved to have seen a video of my dad. And, when I tell you that I said in my last video that you are your father's son, I know that the person I am, the moral character and character that I have, I know that just didn't come about by happenstance. I think I am my father's son. And if my dad went through any hardships in the way he handled them, I'm probably like my dad. Therefore, I have to conclude that for the most part, my dad was probably a good guy. And, I look at my brother, because I know my brother's father better than my brother, my stepdad. My brother doesn't know about the abuses that my stepfather did. He has no clue. He was only 5 when his dad died. Now my brother sort of probably looks back, oh, my dad, and they probably talk good about him, but they don't know what I know. And then I look at my brother's life, alcoholic, thief, bad person, lies, causes dissension among others, lazy, vindictive, petty. See, those are things that he didn't learn. Nobody taught him those things. That's just who he is. And I look at my life and how I conduct my life, the way I'm parenting. That's because that's who I am. So, I'm running my own narrative, and this is my channel, and I am the hero of my story, but I'm going to give you the truth. And I just want to tell you before we start the other videos in chapter 4, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. This isn't to say that I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect, and I'm going to give you all the things I've done. I have not always abided by the law. I haven't always been a good, law-abiding citizen. I've done things in my youth that I'm ashamed of, but there's a limit to that because, sure, I've done some things, but when you look at them in a certain light and you understand the youth and the periods of time and what happened, it's understandable. So anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense. So this is the intermission. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.